On today's episode of the Command Center podcast, Jaden Daniels, quarterback one. Surprise! Yeah. And then we do a Miami review and a New England preview. And then Fred versus a gorilla. Who wins? It all starts right now. Welcome to the Command Center podcast. I'm Logan Paulson here with Fred Smoot and Santana Moss. And guys, I got something I've been wanting to ask you for a while now. You guys like gorillas? You guys in on gorillas?
Yeah.
I consider myself one.
Really?
Yeah.
This is a good question for you. Okay, so I started this thought experiment, and I asked B. Mitch this over the weekend.
Wrong guy, but okay.
And it was B. Mitch's birthday, so you can imagine how his answer went.
And my son's birthday, same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to your son.
Yesterday was both of their birthday.
Which one? Your ninth grader or your?
Yeah, my ninth grader.
Happy birthday to Fred's son and B.
Caleb.
Mitch. So basically, in this room, there is a wild gorilla. We are in this room, or there's people in this room, right?
Yeah.
You cannot use any weapons, and you are like kind of like just like not naked, but like you don't have anything with you. No shoelaces, no nothing, right?
All right.
How many people
Making it out of there?
would it take to defeat the gorilla?
Well, a gorilla literally has, 5 times the strength of 10 times the strength of a human being?
Yeah, it's 10 times.
It's 10 times the strength.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it'll take one person each, 5 of us.
That's it, 5.
Just 5, because I'm going one person each limb.
Okay.
And I'm going with the eliminator. That's the last person.
Are they all you, or are they like who you got? Who's on your team?
I'm gonna take B. Mitch in there with me.
Dude, B. Mitch, I'm telling you, B. Mitch was feeling pretty good about himself. He was like, I will beat the gorilla, and genuinely being serious.
Yes,
by myself.
I'll take B. Mitch in there.
Yeah.
I'll take London in there with me also.
Yep.
I'll take Bluefoot in there because maybe they can talk in. What? maybe we can talk this out. We don't have to do no violence. All right, so I'm gonna take a couple of guys in there with strength. All right.
I was gonna say the same thing about you. I'm taking you.
So I can try to talk it.
Make them laugh.
But the gorilla gonna mess us up because unlike us, he don't got no restraint or control.
That's what I'm. Yeah, like you said, 5 people.
We're not defeating that gorilla, man. So the best thing to do is to do something with him. Say
you trying to break a deal with
him?
him?
Didn't think that you and him are one of a kind because you ain't fighting that gorilla and you ain't trying to get up out of there. I mean, you know how some people say go out without. I mean, I ain't going out without a fight.
Yeah,
nah, you better not try to fight.
The question is, at what point does the gorilla get tired? Because we gonna get tired. What point was he say, you know what, I need a rest?
You ain't gonna get tired because one hit, you're out.
Yeah.
Go. Like,
done.
One time, it's a wrap.
I think about this probably more than I should. And like the first person that gets absolutely smoked by that gorilla, you could have 100 people in here and they're gonna be like, nah, you know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, a hippopotamus is more dangerous than
right. But I'm saying there's no physical way for us to kill a hippopotamus.
Well, a hippopotamus kills more people per year
I'm
than
aware.
most animals.
I'm aware of that. But we can, at least with a gorilla, there's a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, maybe we could choke it out. I don't know. Like, but they got no neck.
Why do you sit at home thinking about choking a gorilla out? First of all, like, all right, let me ask you this: what wrestling move are you going to like? I need to stabilize this gorilla. What move? Because it sounds like the headlock.
Step on his toe. That's the only thing you're gonna. That's the only thing. And you might not get that close to do that.
Dude, I think about this too also because I remember one time I tried to break up a fight between Trent and a defensive tackle, and you know Trent calls himself the silverback. He got a big silverback on his back.
Yeah.
And I'm a pretty strong guy. Like I work out a lot. I'm pretty strong.
I seen you without a shirt on.
Yeah, and it's not great, but like I'm overcoming bad genetics and. And I tried to grab him around the waist and like pull him back.
Yeah.
Big Trent. And you would have thought that I wasn't even there. And I weigh 270 pounds. I'm 6'5". And I could not get him disengaged from this person.
Yeah.
So when I think about someone who's 10 times stronger than Trent, like there is no move.
Impossible.
There's no move that I think about.
The great thing about it, I'm the idiot to go try him first, so I get tossed over there. So once y'all see me get tossed against the wall,
you're gonna try it first. What would you like?
I'm just gonna go and get it over with. Like at what point, you know, if we said we in here together.
Hey, so when the gorilla killed him from that one slap, I'm gonna go lay next to him dead. put his blood on me.
Hey,
put my arm over him like that.
Hey, we going down.
But that's an interesting thing because like, what if I went over and like you got a broken bone? I just took your bone out, and then I could stab the gorilla. So you really would save us. You know what I'm saying? So like you going first would save
So
Tana.
me dying saves 4 people.
And we'll have a really nice memorial for you.
Yeah.
We'll be like, man,
he did everything he could to save us.
and we got your bones hanging out.
I'm like, he was a damn dummy for us. But we appreciate him.
These people don't think about these things, but if you was in the jungle, you would have to take on these animals.
But the thing is, this is why I like the thought experiment. And leave a comment. How many people would it take to defeat a gorilla in a room?
I'm gonna take my chances of freezing and getting knocked out, than trying to fight and get knocked out.
But think about it. If I said here's a knife, everyone gets a knife.
Yeah. We can stop it.
Doable.
Yeah.
Spear, way doable.
Yeah.
Even if I gave you a plate, like a metal plate from the weight room, doable.
Give me a number 2 pencil. Doable.
This guy like MacGyver over here. But yeah, so if you want to leave an email about how many people it would take to defeat a gorilla in a small room, go to ThatHawkOutside@gmail.com and leave an email. Or you can leave a comment here.
If that hawk came down, I would grab his foot and leave with the hawk. All right? And me and that hawk would be outside.
Yeah, so I love that. That's a good thought experiment. You know what I'm saying?
It is. Now I'm going to go home and think about fighting a gorilla myself.
Tana had the best answers, though.
Because he wanted to play dead.
Like he's hiding under the curtain back there.
I'm not thinking about it because I ain't even.
Dude, it would just
no chance.
Just so much pain. Just so much pain.
Which my brain says.
I can see us just having him like one arm each, one leg each, and you got him in the headlock. And
you ever wrestled like a bunch of? You got a lot of kids. You ever wrestled like a bunch of 5-year-olds?
Oh yeah.
And you're just like,
you're just
like
throwing them, just tossing.
Yeah, that's how the gorilla would be with us. So.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Make them dance, boy.
All right. In addition to gorilla conversations, we also talk about football. We also have the Hail Tales podcast, which is talking more Carlisle stories.
Yeah.
Carlisle. If you're Jason. Carlisle or Carlisle, depending on where you're from.
Carlisle.
And we have a special appearance from one Fred Smoot.
I go by Frederick now.
Frederick Smoot.
Thank you.
Fred, what did you talk about on this show?
I talked about my trials and tribulations in Carlisle. I talked about my rookie season when I got there. I held out.
Trials
actually.
and tribulations.
Yeah. So I held out 3 days.
Is this where they put all your stuff outside?
No, I held out for more money before I reported to camp.
Good move.
Yeah, I wanted to be paid like a first rounder, like I was.
And they paid you said?
Yeah, they did.
That's pretty big time.
And when I got there that first day, it was like downhill from the time I got there. They put me in middle linebacker.
Dude, yeah, you told this story before. This is one of the I would have probably quit. If they would have been like, Logan, go play, even if like, go play middle linebacker. Yeah. Tana, if they said, hey, Tana, go play middle linebacker on goal line.
Yeah.
Having seen goal line period.
And then having Stephen Davis as a tailback.
I've been thrust in a similar situation, but I was in Little League.
Oh, okay.
And I was playing 120s, 120.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was trying to make the team, and one day, like I was on another team, and my dad didn't want me to. They gave me a spot on that team when I was sick. So my dad told me I couldn't play that year because I didn't work for my spot. So I rode my bike somewhere, saw a team working out or playing and practicing, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try out for this team. Since he said I gotta earn my spot.
Yeah.
It was 120 pounds. I'm only 90.
Yeah.
So they gave me the ball running back like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Coach, I want to play receiver. and they were smacking me. But like the 3rd time, I just like, man, I'm outrunning everybody. I just hit the sideline.
Yeah.
Give him uniform. We made the team. So thinking about that and you having to play linebacker, being a corner.
Yeah. And they just jammed it into me to play out to play out to play.
How many plays you have? Do you remember?
I had like 5 plays consecutively.
Dude, that's rough.
And I remember me going to sleep that night, that first night of training camp completion. And I was like, I got the wrong job. Like I should have been a lawyer, maybe an actor. I don't know. Maybe a hand model for soap commercials.
We've all been there,
I don't know. I really thought in my head,
Well,
like,
you had a couple $1 million to go with it.
Yeah, I know.
oh yeah, no. That would make me say, you better stay in here, baby.
Yeah.
So that's the story you told on about.
No, I told that story, but I told a lot of more story. I told how my rookie hazing happened, all the stuff I had to go through there. Talked about the ice cream, the famous ice cream shop. I talked about how you could just sniff in the air and you could smell Hershey, Pennsylvania, all over the state of Pennsylvania, just chocolate everywhere.
Nice. Yeah. So obviously if you want to hear more Carlisle stories from that era, that kind of golden era of the Washington Commanders. Were you part of the golden era?
No.
No, that's what I thought. I thought you were gonna buy it.
No, but at the time, FedEx was still rocking.
Yeah.
Everything was still
for a minute.
yeah, we were still in place now. We had hope. Hope was still there.
No, 100%. And so that's always a great show. Obviously, Hannah and Jason does a great job on that show. And so make sure you check it out. If you're a fan of this team and this team's history, it's a must listen. All right, but now we're setting kind of recent history? No, current history.
Yeah, current. We live in
It's not even
current.
history.
Yeah, I
current
would say,
events.
how can it be current
Yes.
history?
Yeah, it can't be current history.
Oxymoron.
Dude, look at you with the vocab over there.
You got
Knuckles, yeah. All right, current events. And we just had a game against the Miami Dolphins in the preseason.
Yeah.
We lost, and I'm pretty bummed about it. No, I'm not. I don't care.
I'm going to say it's a preseason game.
Yeah, so, like,
Dead
I mean, we
fish.
talked about this last time. Does it matter? I know a lot of fans get worked up about it. Like, it's crazy to me that fans still ask me, like, does it matter or it's too bad we lost that game? Like, this is for something different.
Yeah.
And I feel like fans don't really get that sometimes.
First of all, it's a pillow fight. Preseason. Not planned. Not schemed. Not the best players on the field. No one cares who wins the game.
Yeah.
The end game of this is to get out of there healthy and to get some good work. Other than that, and I must remind y'all, we went 3-0 last year in the preseason. You know how that turned out.
How'd it turn out? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I feel the same way. I think one of the things about it, I think as players, we wanted to win in a sense, just to have that, you know what I mean? That, cause you know how, you know how that feels when you have to practice the next week or the next day and just having that L hanging over you. But not only for yourself, you did it. You wanted to do it for those guys who was trying to make the squad.
Yeah.
You know, those guys had now, because getting that win will give them a better chance to say, well, at least this guy, something had to be done well for those guys to go out there and get the victory. So that's the only time we really worried about it, because you want the team to have that kind of, you know what I mean, that energy from a win. But when it comes down to just grading things and how you look at it from the I guess the big picture standpoint, who cares, man? You know, we're just trying to get ready. It's a glorified practice, if you ask me. You know what I mean? It's
Practice
one of those,
with people.
Bingo. It's having a game experience at practice.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think that's 100% right. I couldn't have said it better myself. Like, it has a purpose. And so in the same way you practice with a purpose, you practice to see how your new 2-minute looks. You practice to see how your goal line looks. You're practicing that, but you're practicing it for the coaches. So the coach has to call plays. We have to work on subs. We have to work on with the communication from the sideline. Those are all things we need to work on. But like Fred said, it's a huge piece of evaluation. Like, I went back and watched a lot of football because I'm just trying to get a feel for all the individual players, you know, so I'm watching every position. And there are guys that you've never heard of on this roster that are playing 50 snaps.
Yeah.
And they will not be playing football, no offense to that person, in the regular season,
No,
right?
it's the truth.
It's an evaluation tool. It's a kind of a dress rehearsal for some stuff. So I do think but I will say this, though. I was actually really impressed with some of the stuff that Miami did offensively, some of the stuff we did, some of the stuff we did defensively, and some of the stuff that that Cliff kind of had in, and kind of how he helped Jayden out. We'll talk about that here in a second. But one of the things I wanted to ask you guys, and I guess we'll start with Fred because it's a defensive question. Miami in the joint practice and Miami in the preseason had a lot of, I don't want to say a lot of offense in because I feel like that's misleading, but they had a lot of motions and shifts and kind of window dressing. How is taking care of that in the preseason game?
It's easy, actually, because we playing so green and our calls are so blah. Meaning cover 2, you motion, we still in cover 2.
Right.
Cover 3, you motion, we still in cover 3. Like, it's fine.
But they didn't game plan. So I felt like there was a couple times watching it back where it's like, oh, that's a bust, or we didn't get that communicated, or we didn't handle that correctly.
Because that ain't in our playbook yet. We ain't, and that's why I say coach wants to see players in some bad positions. Like to see how they work themselves out. That was a perfect thing to go against a Miami team that's going to motion, not every other play. Every play, somebody is going to be in motion. So all he wants to see with them stand up to that. Play discipline, read your keys, understand what's going on, and don't get fooled with that window dressing. That's all it is window dressing. So at the point, I think because the defensive coordinator was calling such a blah thing, it helped them out against the motion.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Tana, because you've played against, I'm sure, defenses, because I was with you at the time, where you're in like the first or second preseason game and someone brings like zero pressure. You know what I'm saying? And like, can you speak to like how that just throws a wrench in the, because you haven't prepped it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it throws a wrench, and I think it also shows the coaches, you know, who you have at quarterback. I think that's one of the things that I took from it. When you're watching yourself in those situations offensively, knowing that, man, we only have a handful of plays that we're going to run or formations that we're going to show. and then the team, you saw a corner blitz, and I'm sitting there talking about cat.
Yeah.
And we like, but seeing what the quarterback does with that opportunity would tell you where we at. But offensively, we're not expecting us to really do nothing, you know.
Yeah, because you haven't prepped it.
Yeah, but when I'm watching, getting back to what you talking about, watching Miami do what they did, it almost reminded me of 2010 and those years we had Sean,
Kyle and Sean.
Kyle and Sean.
And Mike was
guys.
here.
Because that's what we did. We ran what we was going to run. And whether you was
ready for it or not.
It helped us offensively just to be ready come week one. Yeah. We wasn't trying to go out there and run the whole playbook, but we had a set of plays that we want to be efficient enough on and say that week one we're going to see this, or we're going to probably go back do these same plays. So I was kind of pleased to see our defenses to be kind of simple and boring and still play with it. You know what I mean?
And they did some stuff. They did
you
some
saw
stuff.
a couple of guys here and there open, in those base coverages, but at the same time, those guys flew around. Yeah. And it was every man to the ball. Yeah. Like they should be.
And that's why you're the man, Tana, because that's the one thing that I took away too. Is like I watched a ton of film, and every person is playing with that energy and that juice on that defensive side of the football. And it's crazy to watch because just how that covers stuff up for you. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this dude's open, but we are hauling to the ball.
And we're going to get there. We're going to get there violently.
Yeah.
Like, that's what great defenses are, organized chaos at its finest. And the one thing about defense and a good defense, we got each other back. Yeah. So if you fall short, I fill in that gap for you.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a really interesting comparison to what Cliff has in right now.
Yeah.
Because Miami, it was every play there's a motion. We're trying to get angles. You could tell they're let me just say it this way. They don't have their whole offense in, but they game planned for us.
Yeah, no, you can tell that everybody in their offense been there in that offense for years.
Yeah.
So they're not starting from zero like us from scratch.
Yeah.
They're just adding to what they already have. They got the same quarterback and tool, same running backs, same wide receivers. They just add to a playbook while we starting the playbook.
Yeah, there are a lot of wrinkles, and I feel like with Cliff, it was very simple's the wrong word because there is an element of complexity in there, but they're going hurry up, they're finding good matchups, and I felt like just watching it that after watching practice too, that he's playing something close to the vest. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And I saw hitches from the outside. I saw a slip screen. I mean, if that wasn't vanilla, I don't know what it was. You know what I mean? I was watching them complete passes with the basic one-on-one, first day of preseason or first day of camp, route tree,
Which I think is great because it speaks to, I think, a couple things. One, Jaden Daniels' accuracy.
Yeah.
That just jumped out to me when I was watching it. His ability, for you to run a hitch, good coverage, and then the timing and the ball placement, there's no coverage for a perfect throw.
Yeah.
And I love to see that. And also, I just think the other thing that Cliff did there, which was great, is you said, Tana, we're in easy kind of formations, but he was able to identify pressures, identify coverages, and identify matchups.
And that had a lot to do with that hurry up. The one thing about hurry up.
My man, give me a high five. That's what I'm talking about.
It transitions and it makes us say, play cover two. And once he sees that, once Jayden sees that, his reads are cleaner.
Yeah.
And if you speed the game up, we're always going to be able to force to play something easy, something fast, something smart. Yeah. But guess who else knows we're in that? That quarterback knows that we're in that. And Brady did this at a high level. He would literally force us, they'll go hurry up, force us to play cover two or cover four, whatever your hurry up check is, and he would throw it to the same player 5 times in a row. That's how disciplined he was. And there go the weak spot. I ain't going nowhere.
Ain't going nowhere.
And that's what Jayden gonna have that clear read.
I'm a West welcome you to sleep.
To sleep.
Dude.
Over and over again.
I saw that dude get 10 catches in the same drive. I'm like, bro, we ain't stopping that play.
Deion Branch you to death. Yeah. All right. So that's what hurry up does.
That's what Byron Leftwich said about him is he's okay being boring. Yeah. He's okay just doing the right thing over and over
Peyton
again.
was the same way. Those guys, Reginald was still on the outside of the numbers and just sit there.
Yeah, they don't even come to the huddle.
And they knew the plays because he calling numbers. And they knew, okay, number 5, I got to do this. Yeah. Oh, he calling red, I got to do this. So when you get to that part of your game, that's when you you clicking.
You done mastered.
Yeah, you done master what you got offensively. Yeah. But just to see what we was doing preseason wise, man, and because one of the things that you take from watching those guys perform, whether they get a win or a W or L, just seeing, like I said before, the command of the quarterback with his huddle, with his guys, and how efficient they are in each play. Yeah. You know what I mean? You didn't saw you barely saw a ball on the ground. You saw guys running precise routes. You saw guys catching the ball.
Yeah.
You saw guys blocking. Everybody was doing their job. So when I'm watching that, and it's a preseason, this is what I want to see. This is a win for me offensively.
Yeah.
For what I want to see, as far as production wise, from my team.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the other thing I wanted to point out too is just how Cliff called the game. You mentioned the screens, you mentioned the runs. He had a couple second and longs. He didn't try to go for a big chunk play. Gets into a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 6, much more manageable. And they just did a great job being efficient, even though it was kind of basic. And another thing that I wanted to kind of ask about is in the joint practice, Jayden in the red zone was like 5 for 5 touchdowns. And obviously in the game it's 4 field goals or whatever it ends up being, right? So which is more important, and why do you think they were more efficient in the joint practice?
Joint practice is more important. Because joint practice, they was calling plays. They was scheming each other. They was attacking each other. They was running stuff that they're going to run in October. They was running stuff that's going to be ran in December. It was ones against ones. It was your peak talent against my peak talent. We're going to do situational. That tells me a lot. If him going 5 for 5 in those situations, tell me not only is he processing quick, he's learning how to complete plays in a short window. I love checking people in the red zone because your speed don't matter no more. Nothing matters but can you make a play in a 1/10 of a second that I cannot make. So that means micromanaging him in that situation, that's, to me, playing in the red zone is harder than playing in open field. So therefore, if he can major in red zone, he already a step ahead.
Yeah, joint practice stands out more, I think, just for the standpoint of being able to kind of like run your plays and not have to worry about somebody's, recording
looking at them
or watching them,
studying
or the wrong eyes seeing them. But I heard all the praises that Jayden got from that practice, and I wasn't shocked because you saw that here the first couple of days when we got that red zone look. I mean, the ball is coming out. He understand coverage, who's open, and like just what Fred alluded to earlier. When we was talking about him, he threw the ball away once throwing to Terry, and he just knew, I'm going to throw this outside because I don't have time. And guess what? Save ourselves for the next play. We can get the kick a field goal. I mean, he's one of those guys right now. That's why I said that, it's not a coincidence that he's gotten the nod, but you heard some of these whispers from day one about how efficient he is, how precise he is, and just he knows what to do before.
You know what? I got to say this, too. Since we in the quarterback room, I got to get Trace McSorley some props. Coming off the couch.
That's
in
tough,
3 days
man.
That
was tough
watching. Listen to me. I'm going to give that guy some props. Local kid here. That's hard to do. And I don't care about him knowing Cliff Kingsbury playbook. It's still hard to do. It's hard to do to come in there and handle himself the way he handled himself. And let's be honest. We still almost won that game. Like, we got the last drive to end the game. Kudos to you, my friend. Not an easy thing to do.
Absolutely. And anybody else, Tanner, you want to shout out from the game that you thought stood out?
Oh, man. What's the kid name is I just talked to about the safety?
Tyler Owens.
Tyler
Owens. Lord have mercy, man.
He's telling somebody, you might need to crank up that U-Haul because I want a job.
Tyler Owens, if I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna get the brunt of all the action this next game. If he can finish it out, if he can finish this game, this preseason out the way he started with these first 2 preseason games, go ahead and give him his number. Or whatever number he's feeling, who's going to not be here, y'all go ahead and make room for him.
What about Wiley? Michael Wiley is running that.
He's arguably saying he's running back 3 already.
He wants to see me. It feels that way to me. So it's some guys that's sticking out. Jamin Davis got his first sack rushing the passer. So it's guys out there making plays now. And that's what I can say. It ain't not one guy can I sit and say, you know what? He's overall had just a bad camp. I don't think it's one guy on this team I can sit here and say that about.
Yeah, and I'd say Tyler Owens, McSorley. I'd say Dominic Hampton had a good day.
Dominic Hampton.
Luke McCaffrey.
Luke made some plays.
Tough catches.
Ben Sinnott has just shown up each and every game of the preseason.
Give Bates some credit too, man. Blocking well, catching the ball.
Ben Sinnott, the best number 82 we ever had.
Ain't that the truth, man? Ain't that the truth? So I think obviously we talked about another guy that impressed me, obviously, and he impresses me every time I'm out there, is Jaden Daniels. This week they made the announcement that he will be the number 1 quarterback, and I can speak for us all when I'm saying we weren't very surprised by that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think the question is why we weren't surprised by it.
Probably because how he's carried himself. Like cause we know just because you drafted high, we ain't gonna just give you the job. Yeah. But how does guys carry themselves and doing all the right things, pushing all the right buttons, saying all the right things? We knew it was a short time. And then I could always tell by talking to your teammates, because talking to his teammates the last couple of weeks, they already felt like he was the starter.
Yeah.
So by them feeling like that tells me he already earned their respect. That's half the battle. It didn't shock me.
He's just ready, man. I mean, you look at it from day one. That's been the first thing everyone has said from the first practice. And I think also, too, you give a little credit to the coaching staff for not forcing them to go out there and say, well, this is your job. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take us to the promised land. They allowed him to gradually go out there and, go with the twos sometime in practice and get used to what he was seeing. And I guess over time he just showed them like, hey, I'm a little ahead of the curve. So whenever you guys ready, I'm ready. You know,
when you ready, I'm ready.
After that first preseason game, and when he checked off and he looked to the sideline and gave him that little wink and gave him that point, that tells you, where he's at, confident wise, and how he sees the game. And Terry's one of those guys. He speaks elegantly. And he's one of those guys that just has been praising him left and right every time he gets a chance to get in front of that camera or the mic and just talk about how he's ahead of his time when it comes to some of the things that he's talking to him about, after practice, during practice, some of the things he's seeing in coverages. The guy's ready. So I'm just happy that, now we put that behind us and we can move forward. Yeah,
and for me, I agree, Tana, the coaching staff did a great job, the composure that he showed, the maturity that he's shown. But every single opportunity he's had, mini camp, preseason, OTAs.
In practices with other teams.
He's just answered the call, man.
Yeah.
I know this coverage. I know where the ball needs to go. The foot speed, the physical talent has been on display.
Yeah.
The mental talent's been on display. The leadership's been on display. And, I got a lot of respect for Marcus Mariota and how he's handled this process. But to me, it was very obvious that he was a very talented football player.
To be a backup.
I was asked this question, and I had to seriously think about it. They say the best quarterback class of all time is that '83 class,
which is
Dan Marino.
Dan Marino, all those guys. I call this the old man class because this class has started more starts than any quarterbacks in college history. Mm-hmm. Could this be the best quarterback class of all time?
The new one, what is it, 2024?
This class with Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, is this the best? Bo Nix over there looking like the next coming of John Elway. Yeah. Could this be, when we look back 20 years from now, the best quarterback class of all time?
It's a bit premature, but it tends to lead to you saying, hey, I'm gonna keep my eye on it.
Yeah.
Because we don't know if all these guys are going to probably, start.
But they done had more college starts than any graduating class ever.
That's true.
That's a lot. And the one that had the less starts is Drake May.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's starting off a little slow out the door, but he's starting to catch it. Yeah. That tells you a lot to me.
And they got a lot of talent now.
What I will say to you, Fred, is the preseason will lie to you. I need to see some real football.
I don't care what they do in the preseason.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about these guys and how many quality starts they got. And
from college.
They are processing the pro game, to me, a little faster than some quarterbacks. Because I've seen a Mark Sanchez come in here, a one-year starter at USC, and he's still trying to figure it out while he in the league.
Yeah.
These guys, we talking about COVID, baby.
Say too, when Mark Sanchez, those guys went to the division round.
Yeah,
2 years back to back, 2 or 3 years back to back.
Jets.
You know what I mean? So who knows? No,
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is obviously the highlight throws we've seen from this class are tremendous.
Yeah.
But think about Zach
those
Wilson.
Bullets gonna be flying.
Zach Wilson looked like that dude in the preseason. Remember?
I never felt like Zach Wilson was gonna be good.
He looked good in the preseason, and all of a sudden his brain melted. So I'm gonna wait till we see some real football. But
he was seeing ghosts, man. What are you talking about?
I'm with you, but that happens though. That happens. People.
But guess what? How many years did Zach Wilson start? 2.
But also, J.J. McCarthy looked good in the preseason, limited starts.
I'm a J.J. believer. I believe what I seen from J.J. J.J. threw the ball more in one preseason game than he threw his whole senior mission. I'm just telling you, I'm a J.J. believer.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Real quick question before we get off of this. What is Marcus's role now that Jaden's the starter?
No, his role, the same role he been have.
It never changed.
I'm a nurturer. I'm a parent.
Never changed.
I'm a teacher. He was who better else to tell your Heisman winning number 2 pick what's coming for him and what the future holds than a former number 2 pick, a former Heisman Trophy winner, somebody that been through there with the same skill set. All right? He was brought here to be a teacher. Yeah. I wish I was a quarterback and could have been a backup for like the last 5 years of my life, all right? And just be here to be a teacher. That's the only position that's get gifted that. Quarterbacks get gifted that.
Did I ever tell you this story about me? This is a funny story.
All right.
So when I was in Atlanta, I got cut, right? And I was like looking to re-sign. I think I'm the only one here who's been cut more than once. Anyway, so kudos to me. Well done.
Way to endure.
Yeah, but so I went to Houston, and they were like, "Oh, we want you to kind of mentor some of the young guys." And I am not kidding. All I did was practice and run meetings with the young guys. They had 2 young guys that were crazy talented.
Yeah.
I never dressed for a game. I took notes on the sideline. Got paid vet minimum, which at the time was
like $2 million.
It was $1 million.
First of all, I would have loved to end my career doing that.
Yeah.
Like for defense, we don't get them.
I'd never even heard anything like that.
Yeah.
Like I would run meetings with the young guys. I'd get there early. We'd meet. We'd go through practice review. I'd meet after practice. We'd do walkthroughs and stuff. And that's all I did.
No pressure on Sunday.
No pressure.
But see, that's what I said. Like the backup quarterback position is the best position.
Yeah.
In football.
Yeah.
All right? We don't need you till we need you. You play probably 6 games in 10 years. As long as you ball those 6 games, you got a 12-year career, most of it teaching.
100%.
I'd love that though. I mean, mine was similar to that my last year here.
Yeah,
because Jay
would have been great at it.
Jay didn't really want me to practice with the scout team, but me, my hard head behind was like, you ain't finna have me out here on the knee all day.
Yeah, just not doing anything.
I'm finna go practice with the scout team, and then week 6, he's like, oh well, I dropped the ball. I need you out there. So I'm like, well, I checked out. I just went and got a sleeve on my leg. I'm ready. I'm ready to go ahead and go to the offseason. But no, I mean, I would have loved that position, as far as just being a veteran, knowing that, hey, I can just get a check and coach these little ones up,
Yeah, because I will say
best job in football.
It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think, again, like when he comes, I'm on the sideline for the game doing the radio stuff. When Jayden comes off, like Marcus is right there. Like he's got the book and he's talking, they're reviewing stuff. And so I think that's exactly what it is. Yeah. It's a guy, he can win you some games if something happens to Jayden.
I was going to say that Marcus is a guy that's proven that he still can play, and don't
have to change the playbook.
Yeah, you don't have to change. And then you get like a guy that knows the offense and that I guess you could say the coaching staff can trust and say, at worst, he can go out there and run us. We can run this whole playbook with him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Jeff Driscoll, too. It looks that way.
Yeah. I mean, he's played, like everyone asks, Jeff Driscoll, he's played NFL football.
First of all, he's a very good backup, right? And he's a guy that I don't think I ever seen him play in the league. Like, I've seen him play preseason games. I've seen him fill in for guys. And he always plays well.
Yeah.
Like, he's one of those guys that, like, I just can't cut Jeff Driscoll.
You don't understand how valuable the backup quarterback is in this league, though. You know what I mean?
Until you need him. You see what the Cleveland Browns did?
They had a guy, who the guy's name was? He played here 1 year.
Josh Johnson.
Drafted him, Chase Daniels.
Remember Chase?
Yeah.
Chase Daniels been a backup and getting big money for a long time.
Didn't really rob the bank with no mask. Yes, he had.
But he was a valuable backup. Like, you get him in the game and he can throw the ball, he can run your offense. I mean, so it's one of those situations. We've seen, there have been years where, like, multiple starting quarterbacks went down.
Last year.
You know what I mean?
Like 10 starters got hurt. Think about it. The Browns signed Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
And they signed Huntley from Baltimore. Yeah. They making sure.
Yeah. They got somebody in-house.
They got somebody in-house.
Yeah. The other thing about the backup quarterback, and people don't maybe know about this, but like they help get the quarterback ready to go. Yeah. So when I was in Atlanta, so Matt Ryan was a starter. Matt Schaub was the backup from Houston. And so they'd get in on Tuesday morning, I'm not kidding, like 5:30. And Schaub would do like red zone breakdown for the week. Matt would do first and second down. The third string guy would do, I forget, maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they'd come in and they would give the reports to Matt. And then Matt would take the reports to the head coaching staff, right? Yeah. So getting 2 guys who've been it, have done it, can help support your quarterback.
Troubleshooting.
I think is extremely important. Now, the last thing I want to ask about this before we move on is this important for the team to know who the starting quarterback is? Because you look at like a team like New England, for example.
Don't know, yeah.
And they've said no. Does it matter? I've been a part of teams that have done it both ways. I just wanted to get.
I think it does a little bit.
Yeah,
but I think honestly, when it comes down to it, you want the guys that's going to be playing with that guy to know. But I think these guys kind of knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Here they knew. Yeah.
It wasn't addressed, I guess, publicly, but those guys on that staff knew, like, hey man, this dude, be our guy.
He's the real deal.
Yeah, he's our guy.
But I think it get an elephant out the room.
Yeah.
Like the elephant out the room, out the building. He the man. Let's move on to the next thing.
I was gonna say because it gets guys like us not talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like in season, we'd be talking about it.
Yeah,
or if we go right up to the thing, and then the players get asked about it, it's just like, hey man, we're all done with this. This is the starter. Stop asking.
Here you go. If you don't answer this question now, we got to keep answering the question why.
Yeah.
And I can't fill in the why all the time.
Yeah.
So that's what it does. It literally takes the why.
And then it also allows those guys who fighting for that second and third job to really now know that, okay,
this is where
this is where I got it. This is where where the ball lies basically for me. I got to go out here this last preseason game, and I'm fighting to the end for this second or third spot.
And I'm putting on some film for somebody else, either or.
Yeah, and so that's a really nice segue, Tana. Did you do that on purpose? Probably.
No,
oh, it's good. It's a good segue into our next segment, which is the third preseason game. And obviously we're playing the Patriots, who haven't declared a starter. Let's start with our team. What is the expectation for us? I think you kind of already alluded to it. Mm-hmm. And what do you want to see in the third preseason? Like, I don't think Jaden Daniels going to play.
Yeah.
For what? Play what?
Does Marcus play? Probably not, right?
No, Marcus won't play because he's out. He's still hurt. This is going to be Driscoll and Trace McSorley.
Yeah.
Do you think is Sam Hartman going to be healthy by then?
Oh,
I forgot about.
I don't know.
About the heart.
It'd be nice if Sam got a little burn because he knows the offense really well.
No, he does, and he looked poised out there. He looked like it's something to him. You know,
because they've talked about him in press conferences saying basically like they love his composure.
I was going to say, I hope that he's one of those guys that we can see as a second or third guy, but it's a tough quarterback.
Well, you could bring him back as the practice squad guy.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, you could bring him back as the practice squad
quite
guy.
frankly, I think Driscoll and Hartman, if that's what they decide to do, could be practice squad because you could elevate one of those guys.
Yeah, because it could be a veteran.
Yeah. Right. And so I think that'll be really interesting. But yeah, I think what we're watching for in this third game is I don't think Jaden's going to play. I don't think anybody who's going to make the roster.
Nobody's playing week one, not going to play this game.
Is not going to play. So
they might be trying to troubleshoot a position.
Yeah.
And we need more reps to see who won this.
Yeah.
Like what position? You got an example of that?
All right, defensive line, D tackle to be Pacific.
Yeah.
All right, that's a log jam.
Yeah.
Well, we can't just close our eyes and pick y'all. Play for Darian Mathis. Play your way out through here.
And we didn't talk about this, but Big Phil played well in this last game. Like the best I've seen him play, and like that to me, I was like, Phil's going to be gone. I don't know what they're going to do, and now all of a sudden I'm like, shoot. He's in the race. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it. If I'm for Darian Mathis, I want to play.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If I'm Chris Rodriguez, I want to play. Yeah. If I'm Cole Turner, I want to play. Mm-hmm. Like, it's some guys on here.
It's a lot of guys that's going to be out there playing, but we talking about the main guys, the guys that's going to that first 22 ain't playing.
Well, I would say out of the wide receivers.
I got a crazy story for you about this.
I would say out of the wide receivers, I just see Terry being the only one that's not playing.
So when I was in Atlanta, in 2000 must have been 17 that off season. Anybody who they thought was going to make the team, I'm talking 45 dudes, did not dress for this last preseason game. Like the Rams do this.
Yeah.
San Fran does this. Like basically, if you are in that mix.
Yeah.
For that starting thing there, like you're not going to play.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if it's even deeper than we think. It's like the too deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's just a couple extra guys.
Not with the free agents we have, not with the new coaching staff. I just think it's too new to be comfortable like that.
Yeah, to be comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
so
we could be surprised too. So you never know. You know.
But I would think that more people than you think won't play. Meaning those position battles that we're talking about.
Yeah.
If you do see Big Phil playing, like. Yeah. He's on the line.
Yeah.
Safety playing, right? Like they're on the line. And like that's the last data point because it's only going to be a couple of guys.
Yeah.
Even if it's just the starters.
Well, I look at it too, man, and I ain't trying to go out there and throw nobody under the bus, but when you look at certain positions, it might need more work.
When Tanner says that, it's
I'm just being real. Like I
I'm with you.
saw some starters that didn't play a lot in the first game, played a little bit last week, and then didn't
turn out well.
Didn't turn out well. So you never know. They might get thrown out there for another quarter, for another series. So
D tackle room is packed.
You heard it from me, but you know, I ain't saying no names.
The safety room is also packed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so if you Defoe,
Yeah.
you want to play.
Oh, he playing.
If you
Definitely
Percy
playing.
Butler, you want to play.
I think Percy's in. What do you think?
Special teams too. I think he brings them to the table. Special teams wise.
He's looked good. He's had a good preseason.
Nothing
So
he
in
flies
that
around.
safety room
Yeah.
is safe to me.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons why they're moving, to your point, why they moved Dominique Hampton to linebacker, in addition to injuries, and a guy who played well.
And it's so crazy how I saw who we thought was going to probably be a starter, and he played longer in the second half at corner, and that's your boy Mike
Davis.
Mike Davis.
That was a great
I was
point.
kind of like, oh man, but Sanders still, right now, he's a starter at cornerback.
Yeah.
And playing pretty well.
Oh no, just playing with that consistency. I keep saying run day Barber.
What we're saying here, kind of a roundabout way, is you want to see the final touches of the roster.
Yeah.
And this is your opportunity, your last opportunity if you're a player. Like, I've played in this game almost every year of my career.
Yeah.
It is.
I played too a lot.
It's the last one you got.
Except for 1 or 2
You know what I'm
years.
saying? Last one you got, so let's make it work. Let's make it happen. And then let's talk about, are we expecting to see Drake May? I think that's another
Oh
one.
yeah, we gonna see Drake May. We only a quarterback. No, because I heard Mayo say Jacoby Brissett is playing.
Really?
No, they're going to play their starters.
So do you think if they play their starters, we'll play our starters?
No,
No.
we're not finna match their stink. All right? The thing about it is, they understand.
I like how you said they stink because they held their starters out in 17, and now they stink because they're playing their starters.
No, they playing they start because they don't even know who started. Right? That's why they playing. They at rock bottom. Right? Rock meat bottom. That's where they at, and they're just trying to understand where they're at. So I can see Jacoby Brissett playing. And think about this. Joe Milton been playing very good. Like, they got an RG3 Kirk Cousins situation over there. So if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm happy to see these 3 quarterbacks. That's a good test for my younger guys.
I will say the Joe Milton thing, the Kirk Cousins comparison, he's not quite there yet, but I think he's shown enough where I'd put a package in for him.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a Taysom Hill, like short yard or something.
Yeah.
So, but what you're saying is he'll end up playing some plays before Kirk did, because Kirk had to wait.
Yeah.
Kirk had to wait.
That's how I would do it. I've always thought about that. Like, coaching high school football has totally changed my perspective on this.
Yeah.
If you were really dialed in and you had a guy like Joe Milton, and it's hard to find guys like Joe Milton,
Yeah.
and you put in like a wildcat package with it, like
Yeah.
a small, like heavy package where it's like he can run and there's a couple passes
Option, yeah.
to maximize your short yardage and steal first downs, I think there's something to that.
It's something to that, because now we are forced as a defense
To prep it.
to prep it.
Now you gotta prep
Like,
for
you're
it.
taking time away from us worrying about Drake May.
Yeah.
And we got to worry about this dude. And every time we see him come in there, first thing gonna come in your head, oh, they finna run it with him.
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Yeah, and you're going to get man coverage.
Yes.
He's got to win man. You just pick your matchup, throw that
Just
sucker
throw
out
it out there. He can throw 99 yards without looking.
Yeah.
He's a beast. So, yeah, I mean, the New England quarterback battle is interesting. Like Drake May, Brissett.
Yeah.
I mean, I expect Brissett to absolutely deal in the 4th preseason game against a bunch of backups.
He is, but we know eventually that's Drake May's job.
But
And Drake May looked good the last game.
But is it indicative of something that
I don't think
they
it's
haven't
Drake
declared it
May's
yet?
job. Yeah, I don't think it's his guy.
Yeah, Jacoby's good, man.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I'm-
Jacoby can handle it, but at one point, when the season is over, going.
with your young quarterback with a team that's not complete.
Yeah, but you got to go and let him get used to it. At one point, they got to
Eventually.
put him in the game.
Eventually, but not the first couple of weeks. I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's do the game predictions. Now, this is an unusual game prediction because we're not predicting a score. We're not going to predict who's going to win.
am.
Are you?
Yep.
What's the score?
The score is going to be 29-20.
That boy lying.
29?
29-20. How we gonna get to 29? I don't know. 29
Jason's like, sure, whatever.
yeah, 29-20. That's gonna be the preseason score of the last preseason game.
Yeah, so obviously Fred's predicting a score. I'm just predicting this is like where I want to see the Chris Rodriguez, the Bryson Tremaine, the the Bene Potoae, the
I've been saying his name wrong.
how do you say it?
I don't say potato.
Okay, that's what I thought you were gonna say.
I said
Don't say it because you're gonna mess me up.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Putte?
oh God, no, this guy. You can't say Andre,
I did say Andre.
but Jamin Davis, those kind of guys, those like fringe roster guys that have had good either offseason practices or have been a little lackluster or switching positions. This is all the chips are in.
Yeah.
If you put your stamp on it and say, I played well in this game, I deserve it.
Yeah.
Like there's 5 dudes, Tana, that'll make the team off this game, you think? 6 dudes, maybe?
About 6, 7 dudes.
Yeah, 6, 7 dudes.
This game is always interesting to me because I think you get a chance to see those kids from college that just go out there and look. They had nothing to lose.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably put up points. So I say it'd be a 14-13 game. You know what I mean?
I call this the Victor Cruz time of the year.
Yeah.
You love that.
I love it because I seen this dude come in and they like he ain't gonna make the team and he ended up being a number 1 receiver.
Yeah.
How many times did that happen?
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Like, that's his story. I remember playing against him. That was my rookie year, and he was with the Jets. And just being like, who the heck is that guy?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, it's Cruz. And like, no one knew who it was. Like, no one had any context for it. But yeah.
They were doing the salsa for years after that.
Yeah. So that's my one thought on that is just make it, dude. If you're close, make a push. Kaz Allen, return a kick. Somebody do something. Let's make it happen. And
Bryant make a play. That's who I'm pulling for.
Shining light.
Bryant, Martavius Bryant.
Oh, yeah.
Go make a play.
I got a funny story about the 4th preseason game, which this is like replacing.
Yeah, that sounds like 1983.
I remember I came in with DY, the fullback, Darrell Young, and we're going to watch a little bit of film of, we were playing Arizona, and we're getting ready to sit down, and Bobby Turner, remember the old running back coach?
Yeah, remember Bobby.
Comes in, he goes, what the hell are you guys doing in here? And we're like, oh, we're just getting ready for the Arizona game. He's like, no, I got to watch film of whoever the week 1 opponent is. You guys got to get the hell out of here.
Yeah, what you doing in here? Is that Logan Paul? Get the hell out of here, man.
Get out of here. You're not going to make the team. Get out. Go. Shoo.
I remember we cut DY as a
linebacker.
A linebacker and brought him back as a fullback.
He crushed it, man.
Did he come here as a full
linebacker from
bro.
Villanova.
He was playing linebacker, bro.
I did not know
Bro, I remember
that.
the day he left because I was like, man, this dude has so much potential. Like, you saw him fly around. I didn't watch him, as a linebacker, but you saw him flying around.
And he became
But
a Pro Bowl fullback.
I knew that room was kind of packed, but
Yeah.
when he came back as a fullback, I'm like, I didn't even know he had that in him. Like,
He played quarterback.
He put pressure on because I think Mike was his still instantly. We was like, oh my!
No, they're saying a lot. Sellers was the blueprint to what a fullback.
But see, he was young and hungry, you know, and
and Seller was at the end.
DY smashing heads like he didn't care. You know what I mean? So no.
Wow, that's good to know. I didn't know.
So who's going to be this year's DY? Who's going to be this year's Victor Cruz? I can't wait to find out. I have a lot of love in my heart for this game. I'm going to watch it very closely because this is where some dreams are made.
And
this is the last.
It's over with.
This is the last time some people are ever going to play football.
Yep.
So that's going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for watching. We always appreciate the support. Please make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And that's it.